As I had them, I ate so many grits until I started throwing them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I wouldn't eat them anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
But to the
Because you
day,
literally had them every
morning,
every day.
every single morning, every single morning, you had grits was it. Grits was grits, 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 and more grits. But they were delicious.
Yeah.
Grits and gravy, when I was growing up, grits and gravy was it. You know, it was really popular. I don't know how other kids were doing it, how their moms were doing it, because, you know, when you were having breakfast, you usually ate breakfast at home. Yeah, not only just cooking the food, but the kitchen,
Yeah. Hanging out in the kitchen.
hanging out in the kitchen. A lot of people have like the den or the living room or the basement or the family room, where the kitchen was the family room.
Well, the name I landed on for the collection, for the project, was Kiss My Grits. And so it's what mom used to, when I would get on mom's nerves, she'd be like, "Trey, kiss my grits." I gotta say it.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, she cleaned it up for you.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So,
Chris, yeah, Kiss My Grits. But, you know, Tremaine, I can't think of the name of the show, but there's a very popular show. That's right. That was like, whenever that was said, it was like everyone was just, I know it was an applaud machine, but it was a big thing, Kiss My
yeah, we
Grits.
should say Chris Kiss My Grits. Um,
You hear it 1,000 times, right? Oh, you know, I grew up in the Jim Crow South, right? I was born in 1954, and we were segregated, right? And so I rode on the back of the bus. I had water at the color fountain. I went to the hamburger joints, to the colored only signs, the colored only bathrooms. Everything was colored only here, colored only there, white over here, white, 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 colored, 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 colored. When I was born, I can show you my birth certificate has my race colored. It's on it, it's colored, right? So anyway, my dad was a pretty popular guy in the county, and he was a brick mason, and he had his own crew. He was doing his own thing, and so there was only one restaurant in Harlem, Georgia, and so the back of the restaurant was the kitchen, right? And so they had a screen door back there, and that's where we would all line up. All the cooks in the kitchen were black, right? And so you would wait your turn to come in, right? And when you came in, there was a square hole there, like a window, and a white waitress would come up and she would take your order and give it to the black cook. And it was really good because we knew everyone cooking. You know, it was like grits. It was soul food, pretty much. And so one day we were running late, and my dad came up and he saw the long line, and so he went to the front, right? And so he looked in and he waved at the white waitress, and she waved at him like, okay, okay. And he told Cuevas, say, okay, go in there and get the food. Don't worry about it. And so Cuevas can tell the story better than me because he actually had to go in. He was so frightened because this would be the first time. And that was the first time for me also to see a colored person go through that door, the white only door, and go into the restaurant to get food. Only thing I can tell you, Tremaine, is that the food was delicious. And I never looked at it as being soul food or culture food. I looked at it as being food that tastes good. My mom made it, or my aunt made it, or my uncles, or whoever barbecued it, or whatever, and it was just good to eat. And I wasn't hungry. I never went hungry. You know, it was always there, like the yams, the red velvet cakes, the sweet potato pies, and so because you were in a community where it was the same everywhere.
yeah.
All the families, everybody pretty much was doing. That was survival.
Wow.
But you know what?
Not that long ago.
Yeah, not that long ago. I got to tell you, it never crossed my mind as being because everybody, all my friends, you know, all my friends' parents, everyone home you went to was the same thing. Everyone was doing the same thing. You know, everybody had their watermelon patch. Everyone had their apple trees, their peach trees. Everyone had, and I can tell you something else that was very important that you did. Everyone had their own land.
Yeah.
I never lived on anybody else's land until I left home and started renting until I could buy a place. My dad had his own land. My grandfather had his own land. My uncle had his own land. And when I went to visit my friends, everybody had their own land. That was key. Everyone had their own land, whether you had 3 acres, 2 acres, or 20 acres, or 40 acres. Everyone had their own land, so you were working your own land. My grandfather had his own land. My dad loved to dip white bread or light bread into a cup of hash, and he'd be driving. And so we had the Coins was with us, and my friends, and some of the Frails was with us, and Andre. We were all, and Walter, we were all packed into his car, and we were going to Clark's Hill to fish.
Clark's Hill.
That hash was hot. My dad spilled that hash in his lap. He pulled off the side of the road, and he was trying to get that hash off. That hash had him on fire. And we were laughing, and my father got angry because we was laughing about that. He came back to the car, and he would always say, "Swain but God." Then he'd say, "Swain but God, boy, there's a train can run over, man. Y'all laugh about it."
I remember you always say, you said, the train can run over a man, you all laugh at it.
Yes. You're talking about laughing, man. It was like, you see, food brought us together. Even before we would go fishing, everyone would go. It was the food, man. You know, the food is it. You know, and it's that way with a lot of cultures, and it was great. You know, so I'm really interested, Tremaine. You know, this is a really interesting topic. Food and growing up with it and culture, but it's everybody, man. And, you know,
Not totally. And,
yeah,
you know,
it's everybody.
if we were Greek,
Yep,
it'd be the same story.
be the same story,
Different foods
same story,
and different locations.
different
'Cause
locations.
It's not just a black thing. It's a human
It's a human thing.
thing across different cultures, and that's pretty much the whole point of Denim Tears is telling it's not just a black story. It's a
Right.
human story.
It's a story. It's a
And
human
even
story.
if you're not black, you can connect to it because your version of the stories that are told in Denim Tears exist in your culture.
Right.
And it's all humans go through similar things. We just choose to disconnect because of stupid reasons. But thank you. Thanks.
You got it.
Appreciate it.
You got it.